They don't want their Ponzi scheme and pyramid scheme destroyed. That's what gold does to paper money Ponzi schemes.
And finally, speaking of paper dollars, that used to be backed by gold. Well, a U.S. congressman asked Fed to consider developing national digital currency. Two U.S. lawmakers want the Federal Reserve to consider creating a digital dollar. In a letter sent to the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, Representative French Hill, Republican of Arkansas, and Representative Bill Foster outlined concerns that they have risks to the U.S. dollar if another country or private company creates a widely used cryptocurrency, and ask whether the central bank is looking into creating its own version. We are concerned that the primacy of the U.S. dollar could be in long-term jeopardy from wide adoption of digital currencies. Internationally, the Bank for International Settlements conducted a study that found that over 40 countries around the world have currently developed or are looking into developing a digital currency.
Right, I saw that story. And it plays into what we've been talking about here, because if all these nations create digital currencies, cryptocurrencies, it would increase the velocity of money. And it would give countries a way to move away from the dollar. And the dollar is feeding the very specific Ponzi scheme. So because it is digital gold, and it would increase velocity, and there's very, very little friction between these digital currencies amongst countries. The velocity of money would skyrocket, wages would go up, and you would see the kleptocracy class would be challenged.
I would quickly in this last few seconds here say that only Bitcoin is digital gold. This is essentially an altcoin, and this will put all those altcoins out of business because there's no reason to hold Libra. There's no reason to hold EOS or ETH or any of the other
That would be another impact,
yeah.
Is that the current crop of altcoins would become extinct.
Yes,
and also,
it's good for Bitcoin, though.
It's great for Bitcoin. Oh, we're going to take a break. When we come back, much more coming your way.
Hey, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Hey, double honors to the apostles, elders at Great Millstone, salutations to your arguments out there doing the work of truth and in sincerity. This is Ainah Yahweh with the beloved truth. All right, so as you see in the video, all these different nations they're all headed in one direction, which is to change their monetary policy to that of the digital currency. All right. And it's obvious exactly what the so-called white man is doing. All right. It's obvious that he has his chess pieces in place, and we know exactly, well, the elect know exactly what they're going to do with what they have, okay? And so the trend is that all these different countries are what? They're heading into what we call a digital based currency, which ultimately will lead into to the RFID chip, because that's how the RFID chip is set up. All right, it's set up through a digital currency system, man. Okay, and all these different countries. All right, you got Japan and China, which Japan is almost fully automated when it comes to purchasing. All right, so it's a lot of people that actually already have the RFID chip. Okay, but this video is just to say, man, hey, look, this thing is wide open. This thing is as clear as day. Okay, and so the only reason why Jake is not teaching the truth, if they're not teaching that the RFID chip is the mark of the beast, they're doing it because of envy and strife, because the apostles at Great Millstone has proven, all right, by way of research through the spirit of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, that the RFID chip is exactly the mark of the beast, okay, according to the scriptures. All right. And so I only had a few precepts, and I'm gonna go through these precepts, because I actually did this lesson for 30 minutes and it had no sound. And this is probably my third time trying to do this within the last few days without me getting caught up by Satan. But I figured I had to say that anyway, because this is supposed to have been came out. But this is Ezekiel 3:17. It says, "Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me." And so the Lord has said, give them warning from me. All right. But Jake want to take the scriptures into their own hands and do their own thing. All right. And they want to prophesy. They don't even prophesy. Salakia. They want to preach the gospel according to how they want to preach it. OK. And they want to make light of situations. They want to make light of this topic as though it's not a topic concerning salvation. And it is. It's a very important topic. All right. So the Lord is what? He's saying what? Give them warning from me. Just like he told Ezekiel, he's telling all of us the same thing. All right. Especially now, especially in the times that we're living in. All right. Verse 18, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. So really being light on this situation is just the equivalent of not telling your brother or warning your brother in his sin. All right. And so they see Jake's have a easily being this society can be easily deceptive towards our people by way of propagating to them convenience and living life in a convenient type of way. All right. Which everybody loves to tackle on. Everybody want to live convenient. Everybody want to live like they in a palace. You know, everybody want to live like they're rich, and that is the propaganda that Esau pushes, all right, through his mediums, all right, which is nothing but witchcraft, okay. And you know, you got Jakes that are leaders of these other camps that's taking this thing lightly, and well, really, they're really setting their brothers and sisters up for failure, okay, because when the time comes when the chip is issued, they're going to be starving, and they're not going to be sure whether or not to take the chip or not, because these certain groups were adamant on saying, hey, don't take it because the RFID chip is the mark of the beast, which it clearly is. And we clearly see where Esau is going with this thing. All right. We're clearly seeing that they want to create their own digital based currency, which the currency, the frameworks are already set. All right. The frameworks are already set. OK. As far as the new monetary policy goes when it comes to this digital currency, it's already set in play. OK, they're just going to pick and choose which ones are going to be the main ones, the main currencies. All right, because you got a lot of different alternative currencies out there. You got a lot of different currencies out there, you know, and they're going to choose which ones are going to be the primary ones. OK. All right. So Salakia, I want to get I don't want to lose my train of thought, but yeah, man. So it's clear as day what Esau is trying to do, okay, and it's clear as day what these Israelite leaders are doing to their people, man. All right, it's clear as day. All right, so Salaki, this is Isaiah. Yeah, Isaiah 66 and no 65 and 11, because you got Jakes out here that's actually saying, is you gonna scoff against the chip when it comes and you can't eat? You know what I'm saying? Right there, that's really provoking the Lord, man. You know? But hey, let's see what the Lord got to say, man. This is Isaiah 65 and 11. It says, but ye are they that forsake the Lord, Yahweh, that forget my holy mountain, Israel, that prepare a table for that troop, which is Esau. All right, because we know Esau is going to come down with great wrath, according to Revelations 12 and 12. All right, and he's going to take everybody down with him when he goes to capstone his enterprise, because the scriptures say they know that they have a little time. All right, and so what do you think Esau is doing? He's going to bring people down with him when he goes down. Okay. All right. So Salaki, it says, and that furnish a drink offering unto that number, which we know that number is ultimately 666, all right, which is the universal product code of all these different items, which, like I said, the chip, the RFID chip technology is tied into that whole thing, all right. And hey, man, this is just calling it is what calling it what it really truly is, man. Being able to see the signs, being able to see Esau actually bringing or capstoning his enterprise and bringing his enterprise to its fullness, okay? And it shows you, hey, that we're at the end, we're closer, all right? But our people want to write this thing off like it's nothing worth their time, all right? But this is going to affect them on a whole nother level. Isaiah 65 and 12, therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, he did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear. You see, and the Lord is speaking now. Okay? And so when the time comes with people being put to death in a massive number, all right, you ain't got to wonder why these people being put to death. All right, because the Lord has given them word from his mouth and warned them from his prophet's mouth. All right, which the Lord, he speaks through his prophets. Okay, he speaks through his prophets. And it's not a coincidence that the Lord is, adamant on certain things, man, especially the RFID chip. You know, it's just too late in the game to be having amnesia at this point in time, man. You know, all right. It says, it's like, because I've called, you did not answer. When I spake, you did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes. And which that's what they're doing. They're doing the work of the Lord deceitful. So they're doing evil in his eyes, creating their own righteousness. You know, they're just making up shit when it comes to the chip, to the RFID chip, man. Salaki, when it comes to the breakdown of the mark of the beast. All right, they're just making up they're just throwing stuff out there. And being that people, they validated among their followers, that people they're gonna follow them because they have respect of persons, and rather than seeking out the truth of what it really is and going deep into the truth, they're gonna follow these people because of their person, all right, because of their clout, so to speak. That's the word Jake used nowadays. So, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not, all right. And the Lord doesn't delight in this way of life, this fashion, and anybody that is tacking on to Esau's way of life and eventually takes that chip, man, the so-called white man is going to bring you down with him. All right. Because Esau is going out with a bang. He's going to fight for what he think is his. He think this earth is his, and the Lord did give him a dispensation of time to rule, but the Lord is going to take him out because what? They didn't rule with uprightness. They ruled in complete tyranny, and they framed mischief by law. And so they used the law of justice to bring forth their evil, wicked deeds, man. All right. Which is the law of injustice. Okay. All right. So Salaki. All right. So the Lord is going to number these guys to the sword, man. And rightfully so. Okay. Rightfully so, because this shouldn't even be, I shouldn't even say what it shouldn't be, but it is what it is, because these guys don't believe, man. This is Jeremiah 51:16. It says, let me see. Salaki. Oh, 51:6. All right. So Jeremiah 51:6. All right. It says, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. All right. How you do that? Through what? The truth, right? That's the only way you deliver a man his soul. And so if there's an uncertain sound of the trumpet, all right, which I'm going to get that real quick. An uncertain sound of the trumpet. Okay, because that's what all right, this is, as the scriptures say, I'm going to read it first and then I'll make my point. 1 Corinthians 14:8, it says, for if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself to the battle? All right, so if you're saying the mark of the beast is an embargo, if you're saying the mark of the beast is Christianity or sin or all these different things, or a judge, Israelite judge hugging Edomite murderer, if you're saying this is the mark of the beast, that's an uncertain sound. All right, that's not fully the truth. All right, so people are they're gonna hear that breakdown and be like, they're going to be on the fence when it comes to the RFID chip because it's being taken so lightly. And so the Lord ain't dealing with that, man. Either you come forward and full on and dividing the truth the way it's supposed to be divided, all right? Or you put in a stumbling block from in front of Jake, man. Which that's what's happening, And I look at most of the replies from the elders and apostles and the elders and the brothers, And brothers is, man, hey man, we supposed to get on guys like this because it's important, man. Now you're gonna have Jake around here thinking that it's okay to take the RFID chip, or you're gonna have some that's confused. And so when the time comes where it's a dire moment, in that moment, people are not gonna keep their integrity and they're gonna take the chip based on the leniency of all these different leaders in these groups when it comes to this topic. Okay. And that's pretty much the point, of this lesson is that, hey, you see what Esau is doing. It is he's making the perfect steps toward his utopia, and at the head of his utopia, which Esau, is his main thing is money and profit. All right. So the main thing of this enterprise is going to be that RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. Okay. Which is a very important topic. All right. And hey, and the Lord is going to take a lot of people out, man. So I'm gonna read it again. 1 Corinthians 14 and it's like where I'm at. Yeah, 14 and 8. 1 Corinthians 14 and 8. It says, "For if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself to the battle?" All right. And likewise, man, if these people are not adamant and being breaking Revelations 13:16 down the right way, they're giving an uncertain sound, and that they're pushing that vibration all throughout Israel right now. So you got a lump of Israelites that's confused, that's on the fence. All right. And guess what? These men call themselves leaders are gonna have blood on their hands. Okay. Now I know this might be the next scripture I'm gonna use is Matthew. I think it's 5 and 17. I'm not sure. Hey, yeah, I'm using the scripture because, hey, I'm gonna read it. All right, 5 and 17, Matthew says, "Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled." All right, and whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments, you see, and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. All right. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. So what do these guys, so what do you think the Lord is going to do to them? All right. If they're not preaching the word in its fullness, okay, and deceitfully going about teaching his word. In fact, let's go into that word deceit. Woe to them. I think it's in Isaiah or Jeremiah, one of the two. Salaga. The work of the Lord deceitfully. All right. So these guys are going to be, I think I spelled it wrong. Salaga. These guys are going to be the least in the kingdom, man. Here we go. Jeremiah 48 and 10. And it reads, and we're going to go into this word deceitfully, all right, because it's pointing out something important. All right. It says, "Cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully, and cursed be he that keepeth back his sword from blood." All right. And it's not, it's also talking, it's literal and it's symbolic or metaphorically. All right. Because this is a war, right? Okay. This is a battle. Okay. And so when we go out there to do the work, what are we doing? We're battling. We're fighting. And the book is a sword. And the scriptures say that his word is like a two-edged sword, you know? And so if you're not out there on the battlefield, then you holding back your sword from blood. All right. So Salaki, it says, "Cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord of Yahweh deceitfully." So let's go into the word deceitfully. The Hebrew word is Ramah. Ramah. It doesn't say Ramaya. It says Ramah. Okay. Oh yeah, it does. It's Ramah Ya'ah or Ramah Yahah. Yeah, kind of. So laxness, slackening, deceit, treachery. All right, slothful, false. So what? So doing the work of the Lord falsely or with guile. You see. And when you read Revelations 14, which brothers always bring out, Brother Tazwan, I think that's one of his favorite precepts. But the elect are going to be likened unto virgins who didn't have any guile in their mouths. All right. In other words, they didn't speak any lies. They didn't speak any falsehoods. Okay. And to say the RFID chip with the mark of the beast is an embargo or Christianity or sin or a so-called black Israelite judge hugging an Edomite murderer is a mark of the beast. You're out of your mind, man, if you're saying that. Okay? You're doing the work of the Lord deceitfully. You're doing it with laxness. Because obviously they don't think this thing is worthy of salvation. And it is. Okay? Let me see. It says relaxing of the hands. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, we go. A letting down or relaxing of the hands. Indolence. All right. Notion of the root nearly approaches the cognitive meaning. Let me see. A remiss hand. Deception, fraudulent tongue. All right. And so pretty much, so just going back to that, man, deceitfully, these guys are doing the work of the Lord deceitfully. All right. Because the Lord is going to destroy those who take that RFID chip, man. It clearly tell you what he's going to do to them. I think there's Revelation 16, man. If I'm not mistaken. So Salaki, bear with me really quick. So I just spent, let me see. Revelations 13 and 16. What does it say, man? And it clearly, when you read this, man, it clearly points out that the RFID chip, through looking out in the world, when you read the scripture, when you look at the scripture, man, and how Esau is setting up his enterprise, his world, his new world, his utopia, his new world order, it is clearly breaking it down to it fitting the RFID chip, with the mark of the beast fitting the RFID chip. Revelations 13 and 16, it says, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right. Okay. And that mark, when you go into that, we know is charagma, right? And then when you break it down more and go into the root words, charax, and I think one more is stigma, if I'm not mistaken. But it actually gives you play-by-play what the hell the RFID chip with the mark of the beast is. All right. And that's the RFID chip. Okay. It shows you, it talks about the cannula. It talks about the piercing. When you look all these words up and when you start to put it together, it's talking about an incision, a branding. All right. Which is, the RFID is nothing more than that. It's more, it's more than that. Of course, you have, a digital, it's going to be set up on the digital currency platform. Okay. It's going to be one of the main vehicles of the New World Order, buying and selling, because that's what the people are caught up into doing anyway, consuming, But yeah, man. All right. It says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of his beast. What does that sound like? That sounds like a system that's going to be gridlocked. You're not going to be able to buy or sell unless you have that hardware that's tied into the software of the monetary system, which is digital based. All right. It says, here is wisdom. So let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 score and six, meaning 666. And when you go into it, it says UPC code, all right, the universal product code, which every item in the world has that. Okay, every item in the world has a universal product code. Okay, every item in the world. Okay, you can't sell anything without having a universal product code. All right, unless you just backdooring it. All right, unless you just paying with cash. And those days are soon over. They're gonna be soon over with, man, completely. You see how they're doing it in Japan. When you look up Japan and type in the digital currency or digital based currency out there, these nations are pushing for this thing, man. So it's obvious to see, man. It's not a area of doubt when it comes to this thing, man. You know? All right, so let's go to Luke 12 and 49. I'm gonna close out, you know. Luke 12, 54, actually. All right, Luke 12 and 54. It says, and he said also to the people, when ye see a cloud rise out of the west, straightway ye say, there cometh a shower, and so it is. And when ye see the south wind blow, ye say, there will be heat, and it cometh to pass. Ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how is it that ye do not discern this time? All right, and so that same sentiment is pushed towards these so-called Israelite leaders, all right, of these other groups: ISUPK, IUIC, GOCC, HOI, all these different groups who really, through envy and strife, don't teach that the RFID chip is a mark of the beast. You know, it's because of these guys a lot of people are gonna take that RFID chip. But the Lord, and when you look at Jeremiah, man, the Lord, there were false prophets in the time of Jeremiah, in the time of Jeremiah and Baruch. You know, they didn't want, in certain cases, didn't want Jeremiah to prophesy of anything evil, man. You know, they wanted to just prophesy of good things out of their own heart, man. You know, and so the Lord, I believe I read into the scriptures basically saying that he would make these the prophets of the people. Basically, they would be lying prophets, you know. But yeah, man. So it says, so they don't discern that these are the evil times that we live in. All right, for some odd reason, they're gonna ignore the fact that Esau, this is the pinnacle of his ideal society, man, which is a damn chip in your hand, man, which is very primitive in the first place because it's going to give him cancer. All right. And man, Lord willing, is edifying, you know. Like I said, you know, after like 3 or 4 tries, you know, finally, you know, get to finish it. But hey, Lord willing, is edifying. And I'm sure it was, you know, because Satan hinders so much, man. Hey, but hey, on to the next one, like the apostles say, shalom.